All right, Geometry Semester 1 review, topic 4, triangle and triangle congruent. So name all the valid postulates and theorems here that show that can be used to prove that two triangles are congruent. So we had side, side, side. That was 3 pair of sides that were congruent. 3 pair of corresponding sides. We had side, angle, side. 2 pair of sides and the included angle are congruent. Angle, side, angle. 2 pairs of corresponding angles are congruent, and their included sides. And then angle, angle, side, which was 2 pair of angles and the non-included side. And then HL, which was hypotenuse, leg. You needed right triangles. You need the hypotenuses to be congruent, and then 1 pair of legs. So side, 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 angle, 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 side, and HL. Those are our 5 ways to show triangles are congruent. Okay. So for these, we want to figure out what postulate we can use, what theorem or postulate we can use. Okay, so we can add, only add things that we know are 100% true. So we know by the reflexive property, that because we have a shared side, this piece here is part of both triangles, that's a shared side, so we can use the reflexive property to say that it's the same length in both triangles. So now we have 3 pairs of congruent sides, so we can use side, side, side to show that these 2 triangles are congruent. So yes, side, side, side. Okay, this one down here, again, we can use the reflexive property. And now we have 2 pairs of corresponding sides that are congruent, and then the included sides are congruent as well. So we can use angle, side, angle. So yes, these 2 triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle. Okay, if we look at these, this is a 90-degree angle. That means these 2 lines are perpendicular, so this is also 90 degrees. Or you could do vertical. So they're both 90 because they're vertical. Vertical angles are congruent, so if that's 90, this one's 90. Okay, this would be angle, side, side, so we don't have that as one of our postulates. But we do have HL, so we can try HL. We have right angles, so check there. Our hypotenuses are congruent, and then we have 1 pair of legs. So these 2 triangles are congruent, yes, by the hypotenuse leg theorem or postulate, depending on semantics. Okay, and this one down here, we can add a shared side reflexive property there. If we notice, we have side, angle, side here, but this angle here would correspond with this angle here. Right, so this side corresponds with this side, right? The reflexive property, so these 2 sides correspond with each other. So we would need the included angles to be congruent to use side, angle, side. And the included angles are not congruent because this angle here does not correspond with this angle there. So this one's not enough information. Okay, now I'll say not possible. Not enough information to make a determination. Not possible to make a determination. Maybe they're congruent, maybe they're not. We don't have enough information. Okay, 25, we want to write a triangle congruent statement. Okay, so again, there are 6 different ways to name a triangle. You can name the first one however you want. I'm just going to name it RQS, triangle RQS. Okay. And then you have to pick the matching corresponding parts. So R here has 1 arc, it corresponds with S. Q has 2 arcs, it corresponds with D. And then S here has 3 arcs. In this one, it corresponds with C in the other one. So triangle RQS is congruent to triangle SDC. But again, you could have done it 6 different ways. So you could have named this one QSR, triangle QSR. That would have been congruent to triangle DCS. However you pick the first one, you got to match up the corresponding vertices. All right, the next one, I'm just going to name it triangle. How about QCA? Okay, again, 6 different ways to name it. I'm going to go with QCA. So that's going to correspond triangle. So Q will match up with Q. It's got 1 arc in both of them. C has 2 arcs, so it's going to match up with S. And then A has 3 arcs, so it's going to match up with R. So triangle QCA is congruent to triangle QSR. But again, six different ways to name this. All right, 26, using the triangle from the above left, complete the following triangle congruent statements. So angle QRS would be congruent to angle. So Q corresponds with D, R with S, and then S with C. So QRS and DSC. Okay, angle C DS is going to correspond with, right? C corresponds with S, D with Q, and then S with R. So CDS is going to correspond with SQR. So angle SQR. Okay. DS here has one hash mark, so it's going to be congruent to QR, right? So segment DS is congruent to segment QR. Segment RS has 3 hash marks, so that's congruent to segment SC. And then DC has 2 hash marks, so it's congruent to segment QS. Okay, 27 is asking us what additional information we would need to show that the triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle. Okay, right now we have that angle KFG is congruent to angle HGF. Right, so that's a pair of angles. Okay, and then we have by the reflexive property that FG is congruent to FG or GF. Okay, that's a pair of sides. So we have one pair of angles, one pair of sides. That means we need another pair of angles. Okay, so we need another pair of angles. So angle, right? And the sides have to be an included side. So it's got to be another pair of angles here. So it needs to be angle KGF. Has to be congruent to angle HFG. Okay, and that gives us our second pair of angles. So then we have angle, side angle. Okay. "28 wants us to simply list the sides and angles that correspond with each other. Okay, so this is pretty simple here. You can just look at the diagram here. PQ is going to be segment PQ is congruent to segment LM. Okay, segment QR is congruent to segment MN. And then segment PR is congruent to segment LN. Okay, angle P is congruent to angle L. Angle Q is congruent to angle M. And angle R is congruent to angle N. Okay, pretty simple there. You just match up your corresponding parts. Okay, draw a picture to solve for X in the following problem. Right, so EFH, triangle EFH, then triangle DPS. So E corresponds with D, F corresponds with P, and H corresponds with S. Okay, the measure of angle E is 5x plus 6. 5x plus 6. The measure of angle D here is 2x plus 23. 2x plus 23. Okay, and then the measure of angle S is 2x minus 6. Okay, so there's our diagrams. The idea here is angle E here is going to be congruent to angle D, right? So angle E is congruent to angle D, right? So we can do 5x plus 6 equals 2x plus 23. Okay, subtract 2x from both sides. That's going to be 3x plus 6 equals 23. Subtract 6 from both sides. So that's going to be 3x equals 17. So then x is going to be 17 over 3. Right, and then if you want to check your answer, you could plug that back in just to check your answer. But I think we're okay there. Right, number 30 here. Okay, so this is isosceles, so this is going to be 82. Okay, these are a linear pair. So we know 180 minus 82 is going to be 98. Right, so we know angle B here is 98. Okay, and then angle C is going to be the same thing. That's a linear pair, so that's 98. Okay, and then you have three angles of a triangle. Right, three angles of a triangle add up to 180, so we can do 180 minus 98 minus 25. So that's going to be 123, so that's going to be 57. Yep, 57. Okay, and then since that's isosceles, this one over here is also 57. That's going to make this up here 25. Okay, and then if we want to find E, we know three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So 180 minus 82 minus 82. Okay, that's 164. So 180 minus 164 is 16. So this angle here is going to be 16 degrees. Okay, so you started with the 82 here. So it's isosceles. This small triangle is isosceles. So this one over here is also 82. You then have linear pairs here. So 180 minus 82 is 98. 180 minus 82 is 98. Okay. The three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So you have 98 and 25. So we did 180 minus 98 minus 25. That gave us 57. Right. The big triangle is isosceles. So this one over here is also 57. Right. And we can do 180 minus 25. I'm sorry, minus 98 minus 57 gave us 25. So we could actually write that one out too. Right. Minus 98 minus 57 gave us 25. Right. For up here. Okay. And then this is also a triangle. So three angles of the triangle add up to 180. So 180 minus 82 minus 82. And that gave us 16. Okay, and last one here, we have a right triangle and two isosceles triangles. Right, but we can start here with a linear pair. So we have a linear pair there. So 180 minus 114 is 66. Right, this is isosceles. So this one over here is also 66. Okay, so we can do 180 minus 66 minus 66 to get the third angle of our triangle. So that's 132. That's going to be 48. Okay, this is a right angle, so that's 90 degrees. So we can do 90 minus 48, which is going to give us 42. So this over here is going to be 42. Okay, and then we can do 180 minus 42, which is going to be 138. Okay. And we know these two angles are congruent, and we know they add up to 138, so we can divide by 2. And that's going to be 69. So then we have 69 here and 69 here. Okay, so x is going to be equal to 69. All right, and that's it for topic 4 and the whole review.